Welcome everyone back to the UK Journeyman Save. In today's episode we have two games, one against FC Sheriff in the Europa Conference League phase, and then a big away trip to the Emirates to play Arsenal in the Premier League. Since you last left us, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. We obviously came off the back of the win against our old club, Mansfield. We have won both our Conference League games we've played since then. We beat Cracovia from Poland, I believe, 3-0, goals from Paddy Moore, Jakob and Sainz. We then beat Frankfurt at Old Trafford, a 3-1 win with Chris Gray, my young boy, getting a goal in the 91st minute as well. We are progressed in the League Cup as well. We beat Norwich 4-2, which has set up a quarter-final fixture in January against Tottenham. And then in the Premier League, we have lost to Sunderland 2-0. That was a disappointing loss. We beat Norwich 2-1. Just about, though, we were quite poor that game. We got absolutely smashed at Stamford Bridge, 5-1 off Chelsea. We actually scored the opener after 3 minutes, Paddy Moore with the early goal. But then Palmer got a hat-trick, Gannon Doak and Shirez with the other goals. We were whacked that game. Thankfully, though, we had a little international break. We recovered. We got the fitness back. But we did come back with a 3-1 win over West Ham. Goals from Ngoma, an Omar Bamadeli own goal, and then a Milot just confirm a late on. But we weren't that good this game either. All of that means is we are sitting 7th in the Premier League. I think we finished 8th last season, so we're doing slightly better. But obviously teams below us have still got points in hand. We're obviously not out of a top 4 race or even a title race, really. But we need to drastically be more consistent. We seem to be in this weird position where we can beat the not very good teams and not beat the very good teams. Like we are very consistent against the teams that are probably worse than us, but as soon as we come up against anyone better than us, like Newcastle, Chelsea, we lose. Saying that, actually, we've lost to Sunderland and Palace as well, so I guess we're just a little bit inconsistent in general. We don't draw a lot of games. We do win or lose them, and I guess that's the attacking mentality. But we're playing Sheriff first. Thought we would just do something a little bit different other than just, 2 Premier League games. There was nothing else really around the Arsenal game that was that exciting. We played City a few times in the save so far anyway on camera. So I thought we'd do something a little bit different because then we'll get to use some different players. I haven't actually set the team up. I will do that just now. We'll bring Malik Tor in. We'll also bring Kingsley Marty in at right back. And we'll put Milot and Jose in the starting lineup. And we will bring Borja Sainz on the left. Drop Paddy Moore for Garcia. Get Gray on the bench. Backup keeper. Start out keeper on the bench as well. Torres has picked up a knock as well. So basically from the Chelsea game onwards, he's been injured. So Demolier's come in. So yeah, he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. And then De Ligt is actually just suspended for this game. So this is the team we're going with for the Sheriff game. We've got Demolier in goal. Back four of Marty, Estrada, Tor and Patrak. Good thing about Estrada, he is starting to improve. So obviously we knew he's got all this potential. We've been kind of forcing him in the 11. He's actually been decent, but yeah, he's definitely improving. I think he's going to be a big player for us in the future. Tor and De Ligt are just getting worse and worse, so we definitely need a centre-back to come in next to him. It's definitely defensively we've been poor. Patrick's back fully from his injury now, and we've got Milot and Jose in midfield, Jakob on the right, who is continued very much his good goal scoring form. He's got as many goals as he's ever done already so far, so this is the best season he's ever had. Starting to get a bit of interest as well, but we are absolutely keeping him. Sainz on the left, and then Etta Eyong and Garcia up top. Still haven't got the goal in the league yet from Garcia, but in the Conference League, hopefully you can keep going. We are, I think, in the top 8, so that means we would go straight through to the round of 16, I believe it is, in the conference. I think it's for the same for all European competitions. You basically skip that playoff game, which is, I guess, a round of 32. You basically just skip that if you finish in the top 8. We should absolutely be doing that in the Conference League. Like I say, we've only had the one draw so far. We've won all of our other games, so we are doing about as expected. We're not going to probably finish top because that'll probably be someone who wins all of their games. But yeah, we are rotating for these games. We are playing, obviously, an opposition where even when we're rotating our side, we're still, even with the lacking of match fitness in some of the boys, very much a better side. Obviously, dropping big names or big players, big goal scorers for us like Paddy Moore and things like that. The 2 midfielders, obviously a big drop in quality, but even still, we should be winning our games against the likes of these. The real test is obviously going to be in the Premier League, and obviously we are wanting to win the Conference League. It's something I do want to win. Obviously, the club's never won the Conference League because it's relatively new and they've never really been in it. They're usually either in Europa League or Champions League or not in Europe at all. I don't know if they've ever been in the Conference League of United. Maybe they have and I just haven't noticed, but I don't think though. I don't think so they have. I think Europa League's the most they've ever been in. Obviously, Jose won that the first time for the club. And I think they've had like 2 other finals since then though, because they definitely had one with Ollie. And I think they had one with they had one with Amorim as well, the Spurs one. So very interesting. But Carleta Eyong gets the first goal of the games, 14 minutes in. For some reason, his name's a little bit glitched. There has been an update as well, a couple of updates to Football Manager since the last time we had an episode, or at least one update. And I think it has nerfed the tactics slightly. But yeah, we seem to be just a bit of an inconsistent side. I guess looking at the media prediction, we are only predicted to be finished 5th. So it obviously is still early days. We could probably finish 5th. And to be fair, 5th is often a Champions League spot now because there's like an extra spot given for the top 2 coefficients, which at the minute I think is us in Spain or us in Italy. So yeah, 5th is not a bad position to aim for at the worst because it does mean we probably get Champions League anyway. So we are aiming for top 4 in the Prem. But barring if we don't get that, finishing 5th would very much do me. One person I'm probably a little bit disappointed with is Garcia. He hasn't really got enough goals for the amount of game time he's playing. There is Garcia. He just doesn't get his headers on target, and he's not the quickest player. He's a bit of a taller target man kind of striker. That's the most chances he's going to get. So Efe Eyong's very much back in the starting lineup. Garcia's very much just been the sub now. So yeah, it's a little bit. I'm not sure on him. But yeah, in terms of where we need to improve, I think we definitely need some centre-backs. I think we need a world-class centre-back. Honestly, still think we need another full-back. I know we signed 3 this season. And I know we really only sold Dorgu to sort of balance the books a bit. But we definitely need another one. Probably someone who is a really good right-back, I think. Obviously, if you could play either side, that's even better. But yeah, I think Marty's fine at right back. I think Malik's fine, but we need a really good right back. I actually really like Patrick at left back. But yeah, really good right back. I think the goalkeeper's good. It's just the defence. I think the centre backs it's just so slow. Estrada's not the fastest centre back either. He's only got 11 pace. And then when you pair him with Tor or Delict, who are getting older and starting to decrease physically, it definitely makes it a little bit worse. But yeah, we just don't have the money to go out and buy like 4 or 5 key players a season. We can really only do 2 or 3. And we obviously focused on the fullbacks and striker this season. So I guess we did get 4 players, but one of them obviously was a bit cheaper. Malik was the expensive one. He's actually probably been the worst of the 3, and he was 80 million. Patrick's been the best, and he was 40 million. So definitely no link between how much you pay and the quality you get. You can definitely get a really good player for cheaper. The good thing with Marty, he is only 22, so he is going to keep getting better. Very much so. And yeah, I think obviously all of the players we signed, they're on the younger side. Paddy Moore probably hasn't justified the £100 million we've spent on him. He's got the goals, but probably not consistently enough against the top sides. We won't make any changes. Obviously, we're giving fitness to some of these lot, and we are winning the game. Obviously, we haven't leathered them, which probably doesn't help our cause. But yeah, we are probably not scoring. I guess we're scoring fine. It's more the conceding that worries me, which I think is probably where we need more or better centre-backs anyway. We definitely need more centre-backs as well. The 3 has been definitely tough with obviously Delict and Tor. Both picking up knocks as well at certain points has definitely harmed us. Garcia with the goal, but this time he's offside. It would have been his 2nd goal in the competition, but yeah, he is offside. The referee raised his flag. VAR is going to check it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get disallowed. And it has been disallowed. VAR ruling out the Garcia goal, which is a shame because he really could do with a goal. He hasn't scored in probably quite a few hours of football now. We're careful with Sainz as well. Even when we've probably wanted to bring him on, we don't want to bring him on because obviously he's got a contract extension. He's not really someone I feel we want to be keeping for more than the 1 year. He was very much just someone we signed to fill in for the year. Mora had a really good start, the left mid, but he's kind of dropped off, and obviously he's not really a left mid. He's probably a number 10. It's a decent effort from Milot, but it's wide. Yeah, I think a really good left winger could definitely help the forwards as well. I think people like Paddy Moore. I still don't know the best position to play Moore in because he's not really a target man, but he's not probably not quick enough to really be the channel forward as a top Premier League striker. Obviously, you just sign what you can sometimes. I know that sounds crazy when you're dropping 100 mil, but in terms of, he's got 28 goals for Brentford. You'd think he would be doing well. Obviously, he's still doing well. It's just he should probably have more. But a man who is scoring is Jakob. He makes it 2-0, and I think that's the call to bring the youngster on. Chris Gray is going to come on for Etta Eong. We love Chris Gray. We try to give him as many minutes off the bench as we can. He doesn't really start games because he's a National League level player, but giving him half an hour, 45 minutes where we can, if we're cruising in a game, we'll definitely bring him on. He did score last time out in the Conference League, so hopefully he can do it again. I still feel he's got the potential. If we take a little quick look at Chris Gray, he's still got the potential to at least be a player in and amongst the squad, a 3-star player for us. Still gets him in the squad. There is another youngster called Paris something. He's a striker with about the same potential, but we'll keep him sort of in the under-18s rather than bringing 2 of them up. We'll just focus on Gray. But we do allow Gray to, he basically trains with us, gets sub-appearances, but starts most games for the under-18s. That's basically how his is working. Garcia has actually got one of the higher ratings in the game. He's just won as a penalty as well. But he's just not scoring anywhere near enough. But he is, again, he's one with big potential, so we'll continue to give him game time and just hope, obviously with the really good coaching staff, the really good facilities here at the club, he can go and score some more. It'd be good if he was on this penalty, actually, just to give him it, but I don't think he is. It's Enzo Milot to take the pen. He smashes it in the right-hand corner. Lovely stuff. 3-0. We will make a couple subs because there is obviously a couple tired legs. We'll bring Mora on the right for Jakob. Really not a right mid, but probably just works out best. And then defensively, I guess we just leave it as is. I'd like to take off Patrick, but not really anyone on the bench. Obviously, with De Ligt being suspended, I would have maybe just moved Tor out there, but can't really do that with De Ligt suspended. So we'll leave it as is. Don't really want to bring Shea Charles on as centre back. That just seems like a disaster waiting to happen. We played him at right back a few times when needed. One thing I think we do need more is depth. I do think we need just more good quality players on the bench. Not just bodies, obviously, but a little bit bodies. And we've just conceded. This guy scored his first ever goal. Well, at least his first goal for in the competition anyway. 3-1. We should still win the game, but that was a relatively poor moment in this game where we've been pretty much on top the whole game. They've just went and scored. And the highlight's still going, though. Chris Gray from the kickoff plays it all the way back to Marty, who is racing forward. Can he find a Garcia or a Gray in the midfield? Doesn't. Finds Milot, who finds Gilberto Mora. Back to Marty. Can he get the ball in across? He finds it to Mora, who almost scores off the bench. It hit the post. Estrada wins the header to keep it going. Milot into Gray. First time pass to Sainz, but it's a very wayward finish from Borja Sainz, and it goes over the bar. Remains United 3, Sheriff 1. We absolutely dominated the game, but you'd just like to see a couple more goals from us, given that we've had an XG of 4, 14 shots on target. I mean, the fact that we've had half of our shots off target is worrying enough. But, yeah, we I don't know. I think that it's like we are a good side, but we're not that good. We are, I think, a Europa League level side, which feels not right for a club like Man United. We should be up there, but I think that's pretty much what everyone says about Man United all the time. They should be up there. They should be up there. But they're not. We'll bring Shea Charles on. I don't know what happened. We'll bring Shea Charles on. Where is he? I'm sure he's here. Yeah, we'll bring him on for Patrak. We'll move Tor out wide. He can play centre-half for 4 minutes or whatever it is. We just don't want to get someone like Patrick injured again because he is a really good player, a big part of us going forward as well. He's definitely been probably the most creative, probably the biggest assister in the club so far this season. But a 3-1 win, it's not perfection, but it gets us another 3 points in the league. As you can see, we are up to 4th as long as we stay in this top 8. I mean, if you look at the teams that are like the likes of Linfield and Famalicão in there, we should be in this. We should be in the top 8 pretty easily. So we probably won't do another league game in there, but we wanted to show you a few different players. Obviously some different competition as well. But now back to the big business, Arsenal in the Prem. So for our second game, we are away to the Emirates to play Arsenal in the Premier League. And this is the team we're going with. We've got Demolier in goal. Obviously Torres still going to be out injured for a few more weeks. We've got back four of Malik, De Ligt, Tor and Patrak. Estrada needs a rest, so we're giving him that rest. We've got the two experienced heads in there at the back for this big fixture. A midfield two, Charles and Ngoma, and then a front four of Jakob, Mora, Etta, Young and Paddy Moore. One thing about Paddy Moore, he's probably better. He probably prefers being a deep line forward with the other out of possession role, but I see him more as a channel forward. He's quick, he's agile, he's got the pace. He's only 6'1". He's not a deep line forward. I mean, he's got the passing and the technique too, but Etta Young doesn't have as good of speed. I don't know, actually. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say who should be what, but I guess that's my decision. But I still prefer Moore as the channel forward. He's got 7 in 12, so he's still doing pretty good. Let's make no mistake. But the teams we have been quite poor against are these big sides. But we need to start picking up more wins. Obviously, we did beat Liverpool once, but that was a one-off, I think. I don't know. I think we are lacking. We are looking at bringing in, obviously, some players in January. We're looking at, I've identified a centre-back who's out of contract at the end of the year, so we should be able to get him just as a bit of a short-term option, really, a third choice, fourth choice centre-half to come in to give us a bit more cover in a position where we've really only got 3 out-and-out centre-backs. I think anyone else is really just covering there. So we do need another, but we'll bring someone in. He's obviously not an unbelievable player with being out of contract and we're getting him on the cheap, but he's still a decent centre-back. But we'll only look at that once it's all done, and we'll probably come back for the 1st of Jan for the next episode anyway, to hopefully do some business there. And obviously there's been some players out of contract. Obviously we can only really sign the ones who are not in England now to non-contract, so we'll obviously try and do some business there, but it really just depends on who's available. If there's anyone decent, if there's not, then there's nothing else we can really do. But Malik getting us forward here, swings it in. Paddy Moore's got to keep it down, and Paddy Moore keeps it down. I really like this United away kit, by the way, with the yellow on the side, the black. It looks really nice. I don't think I've seen it. It might be a third choice kit. But yeah, lovely goal there from Paddy Moore. Good driving forward from Malik as well, because one thing he has been is probably not as good at centre-back. Not as good going forward as the other fullbacks. But that is really poor defensively. We've just created a huge gap. The number of bodies we had in the box, someone's got to come out on that left-hand side and close it down. Where was Patrak? I think it was Mora, Track and Saka, who obviously got done, but you've got to be coming across and helping your man out. They haven't closed down the space, and that is so poor from such a good start. Once again, we are subject to conceding goals to sides that are pretty good, and it's another corner for Arsenal, another dangerous moment for us. Saka whips in, this time cleared by De Ligt, but it's fell to Nwaneri, and Saka could do it again. He plays it across, he has done it again to Nwaneri. We're just not getting out. We're not physical enough. We're really that is, I think, the main thing for me. We're so slow, which I don't know why, because we're playing an attacking system and we've got quick players. You look at it, no one's really slower than a 15 on acceleration. We just don't seem to get out defensively. Now, obviously, we've got De Ligt and Tor, who are below that threshold. That definitely make us worse at the back. So whether that's just the match engine punishing us because they've got those players, but obviously it doesn't always show it as those players. It'll be, various different players making mistakes, but because you've got a team with so centre-backs, that's how they punish you sometimes. I don't know how the match engine works. I'm not going to pretend to know how it works. But we're too poor at the back. Oh, I thought we got the equaliser there. Etta Young. Well, Paddy Moore did well to get it into Young, whose shot wasn't great. Deflected out, and Jakob, I thought, had really connected with it well. But unfortunately, it was a good save from Donnarumma, who is out. He is one who is out of contract. So whether we try and sign him just to be a backup in the summer, hopefully when he gets released, we can do. But obviously, we can't sign him on a pre-contract just yet because he is at a fellow English club. We could always pay for him, probably get him on the cheap, but I don't really want to pay for a backup goalkeeper. But I don't know what's happening. We're just so rubbish. We're absolute dog against the big sides. Defensively, we're so crap. And I just... we're just so rubbish. And it really just comes down to personnel, I think. I'm going to defend the tactic. This tactic's worked for every club we've been at. We were better defensively at Mansfield than we are at Man United. It's really weird. I just think we need more youthful centre-backs, and the fans aren't going to be happy with what I'm bringing in January if it goes through, because he's not a young centre-back, but he's what's available. We can only sign what's available. There's no centre-backs out there that are better than what we've got. We've got to be sensible with the money. We've got £300 million in debt. We can't just go out and spend all of our budget all the time. It's poor. I think Demolier isn't as good as Torres. I think that's pretty obvious from what we've seen as well. He should be saving that third one, I think. So hopefully when we get Torres back, we're a little bit more assured. But yeah, obviously Estrada's dropped out because he needed a rest. He wouldn't have done well in this game anyway. But Torre and De Ligt are they're not at this level. They're fine in playing in against some of the weaker sides in the league. They're fine there, but against the top teams, we are rubbish. We just can't keep pace with them. So yeah, we'll just have to be very, very consistent picking up points against the teams below us, and then just pray Mora's like 2 yards out and he's not put it in. He's like 2 yards out. He's just got to put a bit of in power on it, and it's in the back of the net. He's been rubbish as well, I'll be honest, recently. Mora is definitely not as good as he was at the start of the season. I thought we'd done well. Obviously, he's the Manchester turncoat. I don't know with this side. I think we're just not good enough against the top side. We're just not a top side. I think that's where we need to stop viewing ourselves as a Champions League side. We're not there yet. We need more windows. We'll get there. We'll absolutely get there, because there's enough income at the club coming in to get there. It's just at the minute we're not there. And we start games well. We give ourselves so much work to do with the pure number of goals we can see. I mean, no, we can't do that. He's nowhere near good enough. We need another left mid. We really do. Honestly, it's the best we've got. It really is. We'll bring Estrada on. I guess we'll bring him on for Tor. But yeah, I know he needed a rest, but he can do 45. That's not going to kill him. Yeah, we're just not. We're not there. We're not there yet. These teams are better than us, and I think that's just the way it is. I mean, the board and the fans can be unhappy about it, but until we get more windows to bring more players in with more big budgets, we're not going to be competing at the top. We'll get there. We'll absolutely get there. I'm sure of it, but we just need the time, and I don't know how much time. Obviously, famously, fans get behind Man United. I think it's fair to say that the fans generally back their managers even when they're not that good. But the board, historically, looking at the club, even in the save, they're a little bit trigger happy. It's about a year to 2 years for most players, for most managers. So we do need to deliver. Now, I can't remember exactly what the board expectations were. I think at one point it showed it as Europa League, but then in other screens it was shown as a top half finish. So I don't really know. I still think we'll get Europe of some kind, because obviously we were actually better at the end of last season. So maybe it's partly on me. Maybe I've signed a bunch of rubbish. But at least Paddy Moo has scored against a good side, which he doesn't always do. We'll bring Mila on. I don't even know where to bring him on. I guess we'll have to bring him on for the right. Really, you know what? No, we'll put Paddy Moo on the right and bring Garcia on up top. We'll get our better players on. And then we'll get Mila on the left, he's not great. Patrick can come off for Marty as well. And we'll leave it there in case we need to make another sub. But yeah, Ngoma's been pretty average, if I'm honest. We didn't spend a lot of money on Ngoma, though, so I'm not too upset with that. Estrada hasn't been the best, but I still think he's the best of the three centre-backs we've got. He's a wonder kid. He's going to be good. He's going to be a world-class centre-back, I'm sure of it. He just needs the game time. He's only 19. He's going to keep getting better. Give it 2-3 seasons. He'll be there. I'm sure of it. Yeah, we're just lacking. Right, Garcia through on goal. Would be a great time for him to get his first league goal. But that's probably it as well. We probably need better strikers. I know it's mostly defensively our issues, but we've only scored one today. And looking at the stats, then we're not too different to them stats-wise. It's just we are not scoring enough. They're scoring too many. That's the crux of it. So Yeah, I think our best chance of winning something is probably a cup this season. I don't think we'll be anywhere near a title challenge. We're down to eighth, 8 points behind top City, who are top, who are very much were very much where we were last season. Now, obviously, they're not probably playing any Europe, so that probably helps them. But yeah, we're a poor side against the top sides. We really are. Thankfully, we've got Birmingham next, who we should be. Brighton after that, we might be. I mean, it's not a guarantee. They're about on our patch. Sad to see Mansfield down there. Hopefully, they pull themselves out of the bottom three. But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll come back for January 1st, and I guess we'll do a Spurs double header. We'll do them in the league and the League Cup because we haven't seen the League Cup yet this season. So we'll do a Spurs double header. What do we do? Spurs Liverpool and do the League Cup. We might do. No, we'll do a Spurs double header. We'll mix it up. We'll mix the competitions up. You don't want to just see Premier League, so we'll do Prem and League Cup, and then obviously January stuff as well. So we've got 5 Prem games to play off camera, a couple more Conference League as well, our last 2 Conference League as well, so we'll know where we are there. We should be getting in the top 8 with these 2 remaining. So hopefully we can, I mean, we've really only got City in this little run who are really difficult, so hopefully we can go on a bit of a run now and sort of start to turn this form around. Dynamics are still very good, so I'm not too worried about that aspect of it. But yeah, we definitely need to be getting better than this. In terms of the board, it's top half. So, yeah, I guess I don't know what I was trying to say. But yeah, they're not expecting the world, I guess. They really only want us to be best of the rest. It's not really the 5-year plan that I want for the club. I want us to be winning the league and getting in the Champions League and winning the Champions League. That's the goal of the save. I always thought United was going to be our last club, but maybe we do need another big job. No, we'll do it at United. I think we'll do it at United. We've lost half of our games. It's all against the big clubs, though. I mean, there's only Sunderland, Palace who aren't the big clubs there. Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle are a big club now. With how good they are now. So, and Spurs are up there as well. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there. There's work to do, but the board are giving us time. I think they're not over egging the estimations. I still think we'll get in the top 6, 5. If we can get 5th, I'll take that right now just to get us back in the Champions League, hopefully. So we'll leave it there. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the UK Journeyman. I'll see you all for more very soon.